Hi guys, it's Patty with Patty's Paper Designs. How are you doing today? Doing well, I hope. I'm doing okay. It is, I think it's close to 3 o'clock on Saturday, February 17th. I had to go to the post office earlier today. Fortunately, the streets were good. Quite a bit of the snow has melted off the streets because the sun's out today. So that was kind of nice. Now we're going to continue working on the Love Always journal. But first I wanted to answer a question from one of my viewers. I'm pretty sure her name's Catherine, but I couldn't swear to it. But she wanted to know about this little lady's altered book. Her question was, how did I get my page edges blue? Well, I guess I didn't show any of the inking on any of the videos, but I inked the page edges with Faded Jeans and my blue ink dauber. There's the sponge, and here's the handle. It's attached to my worn lipstick right now. And then I'm going to go back around after probably the very last thing that I do, and I've got a real tiny little dauber brush that's probably about as big around as this cap right here. Just about the little bit larger than the end of an eraser. And I'm going to use that to get into this right here. Let me see if you can see that. Yeah, to get this right here. So the dauber is about the size of this pencil eraser, and I'll use it to, get in here and brush the blue ink around. And then I'll probably put, get some more ink on here too where it hasn't done as well as I'd like. But just distressing the edges of the page has turned, the edges of the pages blue like that. So I hope that answers your question. And I'll show you more about that. Let's see, I think we got one working video, I think, and then a flip through to do on this. But I gotta, this next video on this will be probably next week sometime. Not next week, the following week. Next week I'm going to finish up the little ladies journal, which the video I'm going to be recording right this moment should air Wednesday. And I wanted to show you the tags that I finished up for the JJ Tag-A-Day. Those 5 stack and whack tags. I finished them all up yesterday after turning off the video. And they didn't all meet up exactly. For some reason or another, I don't know what it is with me and measuring. I don't like to measure to begin with, but I can never get them exactly measured right. So it is off, but the Distress ink, made it really look nice. So I'm real happy with these. And I'll just put them in my box. and use them in other projects. I don't think these are going to go in my love journal, my love always journal. The one that I made yesterday will. Okay, so onward and upward, or something like that. So here's our beautiful journal. I think it's so pretty. And I'm going to put a pocket. I said I was going to put a pocket here, but I'm not going to put a pocket there. I'm going to put a pocket here, right here. And I've got it all cut out. It will be this pocket. It will go right there. And then where'd my tag go? Here it is. And this tag will go in there like that. And I got some other things that I'm going to put in there too. So that's going to be pretty. So I'm going to put this, let's do this part first. I want to put this right here. This book belongs to. I've got everything cut out and inked, so we don't have to worry about doing that kind of thing. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue because I backed this with cardstock to give it some dimension. Lift it up off the page a little bit. And so I think art glitter glue is the thing for this guy. So I was hoping, I had ordered some trims, and I was hoping that's what was in the mailbox, or that I had to go pick up from the mail. I was trying to figure out why would I have to, I had to sign for it. I kept thinking, why would I have to sign for my trims? I really did think it was my trims. It ended up being a medication. That's why I had to sign for it, because it was a medication. Very boring trip to pick up very boring stuff. So I don't really know anything any more than what I did yesterday. I was I wanted to tell you too. This is a tag that came in the kit, and this is just copy paper here. So I usually, when I'm using copy paper tags, I usually back it with a piece of book page at the top to give it a little more strength, so that it will, you know, be able to handle the stress of things coming and going. I had some messaging that I did with my son last night. Corey, he has a friend that he wanted to go see in Crown Point, Indiana, and he lives in Kokomo, well, just outside of Kokomo, about 10 or 12 miles. And I was kind of worried with the snow that, you know, I mean, I don't like driving in the snow. And I don't like my kids driving in the snow. I know they're not worried about it. But, so we had a little talk about that, and he told me he would give me a call if it was bad. He said there wasn't any snow up there. But if he ran into any snow, and if it turned out that the roads were bad, he would either stop or turn around or do something to where he wasn't driving in the snow. So I thought, well, good deal. I'm glad about that. Because, you know, if you're a mom, you know, you never stop worrying about your kids. You're always a mom. Just because they're adults doesn't mean you're not a mom anymore. Now, where's my bone folder? I don't know how I can lose things that are supposed to be right in front of my face. But I listen to other crafters that have the same problem. So at least I'm not alone in the situation. This is not the one I want, but it will do. Just want to make sure that I'm not stuck anywhere where it shouldn't be. Okay, that looks good. Alrighty, so there's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put something right here. But first, before we do that, we have to create it. I mean, I have created it, sort of. I've cut everything out because I'm a slow crafter, as you well know. But this is the little end of this one sack I cut off. And we're gonna put this on the back page, the back cover, and it will be filled up with ephemera and other little goodies. So that's what we're going to do with that. And I want to put this piece down first. This they can write on if they choose to. We have to glue it on the right side, otherwise, see, I don't think that looks right side up. I think that looks right side up. I guess maybe I copied it upside down, who knows. I've been known to do that on occasion. Not only that, I've been known to put pages in journals upside down, and then of course you don't want to take it apart to turn your page around. I'm sure I'm not the only crafter that's done that. So it is very cold here. I don't know exactly what the temperature is, but I have two coats. Well, I've got a jacket and then a coat that I wear when it's like in the 50s or the 40s and not windy or anything like that. And then I have a fairly heavy winter coat with a hood, and it's got fur around the hood, and it's quilted, lots of insulation. Well, I wasn't wearing that coat. I was wearing my medium weight coat, and it was not warm enough because it was cold out there. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to cut some of this off because this sack is not square. And it's on there crooked because it's not square. Because I lined it up with this bottom part. And as you can see, it's crooked. And so I need to trim some of this off right here. So I'll have to re-ink that part. Yeah, it's not terribly windy, but it is somewhat windy. So, you know, when it's cold and it's windy, it makes it feel even colder than it really is. And so that's how it was when I was out there driving, when I walked into the post office. And the post office people had not had their walkways salted or shoveled. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm of the age where I feel like, you know, I'm afraid that I'll fall. Of course, I didn't used to be like that, but I am now. I think at some point in your life, if you live long enough, you get to that point where, you know, you're afraid of falling and breaking a hip or a other body part. And I was kind of aggravated about that. But what can you do? Can't do nothing about the federal government not taking care of their property right. And honestly, I mean, the post office I go to is in a little town called Claremont, which is technically where I live. But Claremont, the little town of Claremont, has been incorporated to the large city of Indianapolis. So it's, you know, it's an old town with old houses, and then it's got some newer subdivisions, you know, moderate to lower moderate income people. But it's a clean town, and it's well kept up. The town itself is well kept up. They've got decorative street lighting, and they've got banners hanging from the street lights, and they've got every so often they have planters full of plants in the summertime. But the post office property it's like if I kept my property the way the post office keeps their property, the city would probably be after me to get my property cleaned up. And that's kind of irritating. Wendell, what are you doing? I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's on the back of my chair, he's hugging me is what he's doing. He's my little white domestic cat. He's taking his body and rubbing it on my head and neck. He's a silly boy. Okay, so there's that. Excuse me. I gotta make sure this is right side up. I think it is. I cut off all the words except 2 little letters. 3 little letters. And yes, it's right side up. So, I'm just as thimble-fingerish as I was last night, I think. I've been knocking my glue over and dropping things and all morning. Well, it's not morning anymore. It's afternoon. After I get done down here in my craft room, I need to go upstairs, and I have to take the bulletin and put it online for my church. And then I also need to, our Mass is not televised, it's on YouTube is what it is. So they've got a, it's already posted, but it's pending because it's not, it hasn't happened yet. And so I got a link, I have to link to the mass and put it on our website. Okay, there's that. I don't have to trim that. It lined up pretty good. There's something bumpy under here. Oh, well, it needs more glue. This pocket that I put on just a minute ago, I was going to sew around it. And the last time I used my sewing machine, it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Actually, the last time I used my sewing machine was when I sewed around the cover. And now, I tried 3 times to sew around the pocket. I ended up using a different pocket because I messed up the other pocket so bad. The bobbin kept binding, and I cannot figure it out. I mean, because I hadn't even taken the bobbin out in between sewing my cover and trying to sew the pocket, and everything was fine when I was sewing my cover. So I don't know why the bobbin was binding. I took it out 2 or 3 times and redid it, and it still wouldn't sew right. Who knows? Maybe I have forgotten how to put a bobbin in my machine. Anything's possible, I suppose. Although I can't imagine why I would have forgotten and why it seems so weird that, I mean, I can't imagine how else I would have put my bobbin in there except the way I was doing it. I'm going to have to check it out, I guess. Check it out better. So, well, I don't know what the weather's like where you are, other than Julie Torrens. She commented on my video that posted today and said it was cold, and she gave a little, what are they called, emoji that was like doing the burr thing. And she said they had about 6 inches of snow Thursday. She lives in Grand Rapids. And a dusting of snow this morning. We didn't have any snow Thursday. We started getting snow about, oh, I don't know, maybe about 11 o'clock yesterday. And it kept snowing until about, well, it was snowing even after dark, I do believe. It was dark when I came up from my craft room, and I'm pretty sure it was still snowing. Well, I didn't like that. I guess that was stickier than I thought. So this is a cameo. And I'm not going to stick that top down because I thought I had a label that I wanted to use. Well, I'm not finding it. I just had it here. Huh. Well, since I can't find it, I guess I will stick this down all the way. And then to put this on it. This little piece of seam binding. I'm going to stick it down here somewhere, I think. Where's my tweezers? Here they are. My fingers are in my way. I can't tell if I like it there or not. I think I want it right there. Or would it look better up here? I mean, this is not a necklace, it's a brooch. I mean, I'm thinking it's a brooch. It doesn't have a chain on it. I think I like it here best. Just kind of like right there. That's what I think I like. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use my glue gun. At least I think I am. I didn't have it on, so I don't know if it's going to work. I had it charging. I don't use it very often, so I don't really know how to turn it off and on very much. Oh, it's got a light. That's interesting. So I guess the light's on. Now the light's off. I don't know how long it has to be on to warm up. I don't know what those... It's got these two little lights here, but I don't know what they mean. I guess those are lights. But they don't turn on whenever I push the buttons. I don't know. Well, well, shoot. I'm not happy with that. It was working the other day. It's obviously charged, otherwise the battery wouldn't be on. I mean, the light wouldn't be on. Huh. Very strange. Well, I'm not going to sit here and play with it all day. I thought this was pretty fast at warming up. No, it's not warming up now. Alright, so we won't put that on, but that's okay. I can do that later. Once I figure out what's going on with the thing. We can put this in here now. So we're just going to put it on there like that. But first, before we do that, I want to put the tab on it. I'm going to have a tab on there. I'm going to get my kitties to the vet too. I want want to do that before Ellie comes back home. And then when she comes back home, I'm going to have to get her to the vet. All these things you have to do with little kitties, little puppies. There, now you'll just need to, this will be stuck down, and you'll just pull on this tab here, and it will open up. Won't that be cool? And then I'm going to have it filled up with ephemera, and for whoever wins this journal when I have my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, whenever that happens, sometime in the distant future, I'm sure, since I don't even have 300 right now. I think Joseph sees something out the basement window. Probably leaves moving around. Silly Ellie, when she's out in the backyard, she'll chase anything that moves, including leaves when they're blowing around in the sky, falling off the trees. I sure miss that little doggy. She's such a sweet animal. Okay, so now it is time to, I'm going to clip these out of my way because it's time to put the signature in. I don't want these interfering. See, maybe I'll just thread those through there like that. That should work, maybe. Okay, so now here's the signature. Once we get it in there, I will go through it with you. But before we do that, I want to show you. I had to take my razor blade, my razor knife, and ruler, and trim this by about 1/4 inch. And there's some little jagged places here. So I have this nail file, and I've already done this a bit, but you can take it to these things and file those little bits off. I had a whole big mess of them on the table earlier where they were filing off little bits of paper. Here's one. Right here. Okay, very good. All right. I've never used my white, but I'm going to use white this time because I got white lace. And I actually have a needle in here somewhere. At least I did have. I was using it yesterday. Here it is. Okay. Anything else I need? Yes, my awl. Need my awl. And I think I want my bigger clips. So let's get this clipped in, shall we? I like these little red clips too. They're nice and handy for different things. They're for sewing. Okay, so I'm going to get this in here, and it's a tight fit. There's not a whole lot of leeway between the bottom and the top and the pages. So I think that looks about right. Squeezing too much of my lace. I don't want it squeezing my lace. I think that looks about right for now. Let's get our twine, whatever you call this stuff. I use three generous sections of twine. I like to have a little bit left. And my way of thinking is you can cut it off, but you can't add it back on. You know what I'm saying? And I've got this cardboard. Where did I put the cardboard? Here it is. I use that to stab into a little bit. So now, to explain, you want to make sure, first of all, you want to make sure your pages are all going the correct way. You don't want any of them upside down. Because once you get this thing sewed in, you're not going to want to take it apart to straighten your pages out. You want to, get them positioned in there the way you want. Then get them all lined up real good into the spine. I want to move this one here a little bit. Want to get them down in there tight. Make sure it's tight down in there. And then you want to take your awl, and I take mine and you sort of close your book up. I'm going to turn this around because I can't see over that flap. You want to close your book up, sort of. This thing fell through. It's in my way now. Get out of my way. Okay, out of my way. So you want to close it up. And you want to take your awl. And I try to get down in the center and just stab yourself a hole in there. And I'm gonna have to stand up so I can get enough leverage here. There. It went through. Now you want to, that's off a little bit, I think. Well, maybe not, maybe it's okay. Then I go down about an inch or so from the top, and I close my book back up, and I poke down again. And that one came through too. Okay. Then you want to do the same thing over here at the bottom. You go about an inch or so from the bottom, close the book up, and then poke straight down. And then since I've got some fabric on here, I want to make sure that I can see those holes. And I can, so I'm happy. And as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but they're all pretty well lined up within this, the middle of the spine there, which is how they need to be. Then you take your needle and you grab a hold of the tail. Keep some of this tail out. And you put your needle in the middle. Poke it through. Now, if you want, once my book is bound, I'm going to have a bow in the center on the inside of the book. If you want your tie to be on the outside of the book, then you want to start with your needle on the outside of the book. If you want your bow to be on the inside of the book, you start with your needle on the inside of the book. And then You go up to either the top or the bottom, and you push your needle through there. I know it's there. Seems I've lost it though. It's not good. There we go. Okay. And then you just pull that tight. And then you go down to the bottom. And you put your needle through the bottom. Pull it back through. And then you're going to come up and go through the middle again. And you want to make sure that you don't split your thread, because if you do, you won't be able to tighten your book up. I don't normally have this much trouble. I don't know why I'm having trouble. I don't know why I'm having trouble. For some reason it wants to give me fits right now. There we go. Okay. Now you want to make sure that your pieces of thread are on opposite sides. Having fumble finger problems again. Okay, you want to make sure your thread are on opposite sides of this center piece. And then you want to make sure that center piece, you want to tighten your book up. I want to make sure this is tight, and that's not tight, so I got to do something about that. I'm going to sit back down now. Still not as tight as I want it to be. Don't know why. But it's going to have to do because I'm starting to tear the pages. I don't want to do that. Okay. Now, we can take these things off. Joseph, you don't need to go in there. Silly cat's trying to get in the bathroom cabinet. Okay, so I'm just going to put a bow here. I think I got some heart charms that I might try to find and put on here before it's all said and done. But there's a bow for now. So here's the book. Now, I think this first page is the only page that has a reference to Valentine. It says St. Valentine's Greeting. And that's all it says. So we've got coffee dyed paper, and then this paper, coffee dyed paper, 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 this paper. I had to trim this edge off. It had this other part on it. Coffee dyed paper, this paper, coffee dyed paper, this paper, and there's the center page. See, even this one doesn't say anything about Valentine's that I see. It says, P.S. I love you, but it doesn't say anything about Valentine's that I see. There's the other side of that one paper that I had to cut the edge off of. There's a pretty picture. So every other one is a coffee dyed paper. And then every other alternating one is from the kit. So we're going to put this tag in there. And I've got some other things to go in there. And I've got some fussy cuts that I'll put in there. And I'll figure out what's going on with my glue gun. I think, maybe I will. And I'll glue my bow down here. I think that'll look cute. So let's go ahead and get her tied up again. See how she looks all folded up with her signature in there. Here's these fumbly fingers that don't know how to tie a bow. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I think it's beautiful. Yes, I do. I think it's pretty. Now, this is basically done, except I have one more thing that I want to do. And we'll do that after we finish Little Ladies. I've got it all in my head. So, and it'll be cool. It'll make it look even more beautiful than it does already. So, that's it for today, folks. You have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.